PSQ3 qualifier results are out. Reps going on about his experience with TSM and some collegiate Apex continuing as well. Let's dive in and talk about what's going on in the news world of Apex Legends esports, including a pretty big acquisition for an esports organization that you guys all know and probably have grown to love over the last over many years of just being involved in esports, way beyond Apex Legends. So let's talk about Collegiate Apex. I thought this was really cool for a long time. You've had Collegiate Apex kind of taking off and more people are getting involved. I think collegiate esports in general, pretty cool. But, just recently we had some qualifiers going on for the Collegiate Clash 2025, and your top three were San Jose State University, Texas A&M University, and Purdue University, which I thought was pretty cool. But some pretty big schools that you all probably know from college football or basketball, whatever the case may be. Georgia Tech's in here. You've got Michigan State University in here. You've also got Ball State University. You've got Purdue Esports has like two different teams that are involved here. But your top three, San Jose, Texas A&M, Purdue University, and Florida International University, FIU. And I was thinking at first that that's where Lane Kiffin went to coach for a short time, but I'm thinking that's Florida Atlantic University. But anyway, still really cool though that you're seeing more collegiate Apex stuff go on. Also wanted to make mention, of course, Oversight Esports. This is your scrim results. How are the latest results taking effect? Stallions in first place, and we actually had a pretty cool announcement because Hotsick has decided to coach this team. Thought that was pretty interesting because Hotsick obviously went under some scrutiny for being a paycheck stealer, according to someone in the community that had ruined his reputation behind the scenes. And Hotsick is bouncing back to here now coach the Stallions and getting some pretty good results there as well. Furia in second place, Falcon Esports in third place, Liquid Alienware locked in. Locked in is the team that just qualified from PSQ number 2, which by the way, we'll go over those results here in just a second. LG Envy also, just remember Envy has now acquired Native Gaming. Now, of course, Envy is still the roster that we knew they were going to be, which was Zap, Sykes, and Dropped. But as far as like the native brand for Apex, they've had some esport teams in there from time to time. Snipedown was obviously with them for a little time. That doesn't seem to necessarily be the case anymore because they're going to go and acquire Native Gaming, and so all their content creators and such and the whole like brand and the whole administration behind Native Gaming has now linked up, it seems, with Envy. I think it's a pretty cool acquisition because I thought Native was cool, I thought the idea was cool, and I thought the people that ran that and their story was pretty cool. And now to see Envy, kind of a longtime org that we've watched growing up from the old COD days, acquiring that, I thought it was pretty cool, especially because I know some of the guys over at Native. Anyways, that's your latest scrim results from March 10th. Now we dive into March 11th, just yesterday or 2 days ago. Stallions in first place again, back-to-back days in Pro League scrim, so really good for them. 100 Thieves in second, VDR in third, VSM, another PSQ winner, in first. That's with Vayne in them. PSQ winner number 1 in fourth place, and then you got Liquid Alienware in top 5. Huss in 6th, Envy in 7th, Broski's in 8th, Fury at 9th, LG in your top 10. Locked in PSQ number 2 winners still up there and doing pretty solid. Virtus Pro, Team Falcons, NRG, Flat, Oblivion, the list goes on, and we could talk more about those. However, we got another team to talk about, and that is PSQ number 3 winners. We just had the results come in from just days ago, and looking for Goth Girl are your PSQ number 3 winners. This is Panics and his team. Now, just remember, there's a couple of Panics at this stage. So Locked In has a Panic Apex that you guys probably all know and remember from many PSQs ago when Sweet Dreams had came out and said that he thought he was cheating, of course, and then he never got banned, and Panic's kind of been around for a while. The brother of Delroy. If you know the Challenger Circuit community, you probably know this guy. Then there's also a Panics from the South American region, which is same as spelling as Panic, but with an S. And now looking for the Goth Girl is the other Panics with an X. So a little bit different, of course. Just remember the different Panics out there. But the other Panics won PSQ number 3. Interested to see how they make their presence known in the upcoming LAN event and Pro League as well. Also wanted to make mention, Exo Clan, pretty big roster announcement just because these guys they had a pretty solid roster. They didn't do like horrible in some of these PSQs. They had some moments where we were definitely scared, but they had some moments where they showed up in a pretty decent way. I think you're starting to realize that BLGS competition is not as bad as you would think, and the pros do struggle sometimes actually keeping up with those guys. So Exo Clan made some roster announcements though. I feel like picking up Chaotic Much and Arctic is a very good pick. Chaotic Much, obviously a solid person inside of the North American scene for a while, also just has multi-region experience This guy's, you don't really even need North America to be validated anymore. EMEA is just super solid as it is and outperforming North America in many aspects there. So not even sure why I bring that up anymore, because those days are over. Arctic also some pretty good experiences in the EMEA scene. FaZe Clan, I felt like served them well. They had some good moments where they almost got first place in a couple events. Arctic, very, very talented and no stranger to the scene as well. So I think Exo Clan, pretty good, solid change here and a good pickup for them. Now, one team I'm kind of curious about, that is this VDR roster. Of course, this is Reps, Deeds, and Vaxlon, and I'm a little concerned as to how this whole TSM dynasty, or TSM organization, I should say, not the dynasty itself, is going to go down. Reps kind of opened up on live stream to talk about his experience with TSM, and it looks like TSM is not going the direction that you would hope. And for a lot of people to expect TSM to have the money or the backing to sign another roster, I don't really know that that's the route we're going to see. And you may see, obviously, TSM completely exit the scene. And honestly, if they come back to stay in the scene, it might leave a bad taste in some mouths. And also, it may not just be a good look, knowing what we know now from what Reps is about to spill in this video. So watch the video. Here's kind of what Reps had to, kind of pour into what happened with this whole TSM organization and rosters that he was presented with and what went wrong. More to come on this, by the way, so stay tuned. Roll the clip.
Yeah, I was actually gonna end up not playing this split because the potential teams that I had all lined up, which were like really fucking good teams, there was a lot of issues and shit got canceled like last minute. Honestly, I was just so bored doing nothing all day. Like, I was just sitting there doing nothing all fucking day, just bored as hell. I was like, yeah, I'll just play. So me, Vax, and Deeds made a last minute team. Sweet had nothing to do with that, actually. Sweet almost wanted to play with me. We were both just gonna play together and just like fuck around. I'll probably go over all the issues in like a month or so. Yeah, I'm playing Pro League and the Open LAN with this team. Then after that, I don't know. That's what I'll be doing. Just kind of playing for fun right now. Yeah, there was a chance I played with Mac too, but I already had like a team locked in, and then basically like 2 days before the roster lock, I found out that the team wasn't gonna work, and I wasn't gonna tell Mac to like leave his team. Play. The two potential rosters that I thought would be the best option that I had available were me, Funk, and Shuby, or me, Funk, and Vax. But some shit happened behind the scenes that made those options not available anymore. I'll eventually talk about that, but not right now. And after I lost those two teams, I was like, fuck it, I don't even want to play anymore. Yeah, TSM did offer me a streaming contract, and the salary was like pathetic, to be honest. I could go to McDonald's and work there and make 3 times as much. Just a joke. Like, wasn't even minimum wage. I don't know, Jason. If they sign a team, I think that would just be hilarious. I honestly hope they do. I think that'd be funny as fuck. So the main teams that I was planning on going with was me, Funk, and Shuby. That was like my #1 option, but obviously some shit fell through because, you know, Shuby signed to LG, shit like that. And then after that, it was Vax, me, and Funk, because I think Vax is really good. So those are my 2 main team options that I was trying to play with. And then last second, I was just like, I wasn't gonna play anymore because some shit happened. But we picked up Deeds last second and then just fucking said, fuck it, let's run it. I'll never play with Evan again, or Hal. Hal's always gonna play with Zero and whoever the third is. But I'll definitely never play with Evan again. Nah, we won't be under TSM. We're gonna be looking for a new org. Talking to a few orgs. No, I'm not friends with them anymore, Bond. I'll go into details in the future later on. Just not right now. There's a lot to cover. I don't think TSM is staying in Apex, but I think it would be fucking hilarious if they did. I'm sure Tempo would think it's funny if they did too. Yeah, I mean, whoever they sign, they're just signing for fucking chump change, and it's just gonna be like, at this point, just let the legacy go away, bro. Like, don't sign some random fucking team. Like, I'm not even mad that they didn't like sign my team, but if they sign some random shit team, it's gonna look so stupid.
So obviously not what you want to hear coming from Reps, who's been involved with the scene for so long. But I guess it really should be no surprise as well, because don't forget, we had that infamous leak or dump, whatever you want to call it, from Sweet Dreams coming out to say year 6 of ALGS was getting canceled. However, and his Watson was asking, you know, is this a meme? Is this really going on? Now, we did hear from Sweet that it looks like something would be replacing it, and maybe that is the case. Hopefully that is the case. Hopefully it's actually good, but of course, you'll never know until we actually see it. We also got some comments. I think we're putting out some good points here. The EA was pushing insane money into Battlefield. What are they really hoping or thinking that's going to become? I don't know. The investor did call for an Apex 2.0 update coming out in 2026 sometime. So maybe they're waiting for Battlefield to come out first, and then they're going to go like balls deep into Apex. I don't know. Obviously time will tell. So either EA is going to throw all their money in with Apex or lay off and regroup until Apex 2. Could go either way until they make the final decision, but I think that what we have seen so far is that maybe EA wants to get out of the ALGS side of things and maybe let somebody else take part in this. Maybe a Faceit, maybe I don't even know, maybe another company, ESA or something. I don't know. Time will tell. We'll obviously see what happens, but I don't think it's the end of Apex Legends competitive, but it may be the end of ALGS in the form that we have it now. Who knows if things get more franchised, if it's more gate kept, I don't know. So interested to see what you guys have to say down in the comment section below about all the topics mentioned in today's video, specifically this TSM situation. A little worrisome, obviously. I think that them kind of tarnishing their name like this is not a good look. We've already seen them lay off many people, and we kind of knew that things were going downhill. I don't think they can honestly afford to keep Hal, being that, you know, he's the level or upper echelon that he is. I think Falcons was the only decision that made sense for Hal. And we'll see, obviously, as time goes on, will team dynamics change over the years? Well, stay tuned and stay up to date with all things Apex Legends esports related by subscribing to the channel. And until the next time, we'll see you all later, Gators.